This is Financial Straight Talk with Jim Fox.
It is Financial Straight Talk, and we are happy to have you with us. Again, alongside Jim Fox, the Financial Straight Talker himself. Of course, he's also the founder, president, and investment advisor representative with Wadadley Financial Group right here on the Space Coast. My name's Kevin McAlpin. We hope you're having a fantastic weekend. And of course, we thank you so much for making this show just a small part of your routine week in and week out. So, Jim, we've talked a lot about current events here over the last 3, 4, 5 weeks. Well, one thing we do know, we're about 2 months away from new leadership at the Fed. Now, Kevin Warsh will succeed Jay Powell as chairman, and portfolio manager Jason Katz recently told Fox Business that Warsh is stepping into the perfect storm, not only shaped by inflation, but also oil prices and war as well. Take a listen.
They had a really difficult job prior to all of this, and it just got more complicated. Inflation was sticky, and now we see oil feed through to headline inflation. So they have that on one side of the equation. On the other side, they have AI starting to eat into jobs. They want to save the job market. Kevin Warsh has stepped into a precarious position.
And so, Jim, when I hear something like that, it reminds me of what I tell my son when he steps on a baseball field, right? Control what you can control. That's all you can do. And really, again, tying that into retirement planning, we know there are so many moving parts outside our control. How can you help our listeners really keep the focus on things that are within their grasp?
Yeah, I mean, so here's the thing. There's so much noise, no matter what we do, no matter what time it is. So, you know, it's obviously today, right? So today it's Iran, right? Yep. And if you just think about it, go back a couple of weeks, it was the Epstein files. Go back a couple of weeks, it was Greenland. Right? You notice how there's always some noise that are happening, right? Mm-hmm. So the Fed, obviously, if you listen to the administration, they want the Fed to lower interest rates. Right? They absolutely want the Fed to lower interest rates because that'll help refinance the debt. It'll help there. It'll stimulate the markets. And so there's a lot of pieces to this. But here's the problem. When you think you can read the tea leaves, when you think you can read the chicken bones, I had a lady one time ask me, what does that mean? Fortune telling is what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
When you think you can make sense out of chaos is when you get in trouble, right? Mm-hmm. Here's the deal. If you have a solid plan, and I know right now, listen, one of you engineers, and when I call you nerdy, I love it because I'm nerdy too, okay? Mm-hmm. One of you guys are going to, I don't necessarily know if I believe what you're saying. Well, come on in, because here's what I can do. I can run a multitude of different scenarios and different portfolios, and I can say, let's pretend like we had a good insight that the markets were going to drop during the tech bubble burst and during the Great Recession and during Biden in 2022. And I could and even if we know this and try to prepare ourselves, we still long term would have averaged the same rate of return that we would have gotten if we just kind of would have stayed the original course. Mm-hmm. See, none of us can go back. I'm going to go old school with you real quick. You remember on Back to the Future 2, Biff went back in time and got that, or Marty got the little, the sports almanac and was able to find all the winning teams and Biff stole it from him, right?
Uh-huh, yeah.
Look, guys, if you could pull that off, I love the story, okay? But the reality is, even if you knew those things were coming and you could have prepared for them, the math still says that at the same 20 and 30-year period, just a solid game plan would have worked exactly the same, almost to the penny, as trying to time the markets. And in a lot of cases, you actually miss and it underperforms. See, that's the issue, is you get caught up on the noise. Now, am I saying that the Fed lowering interest rates isn't going to have an impact? Absolutely. I'd be stupid to say that because it is going to drive the markets. But remember, anytime there's movement in one area, there's movement in another area, right? What is that action and reaction or whatever that thing is, right? Uh-huh. So think about it. If interest rates go down, markets go way up typically, right? Mm-hmm. But you know what else starts to go up eventually? Inflation. So as inflation rises, they have to do what to interest rates to get them under control? They have to then raise interest rates. What does that do to the markets? It backs them back off, right? Mm-hmm. See, The problem is I can't tell you how many people have been calling me about SpaceX that's going to IPO. And God, I can't wait to talk about that, Kevin. Lord help us, okay? Right. What a story that's going to be. Yeah. And before that, it was silver, obviously, and gold. And then it was Bitcoin, and then it was Dogecoin, and it was SPACs, and it was this. There's always some noise that people are chasing. Do you understand the math says that when you just stick with a good game plan that makes sense, you typically outperform playing the games? See, that's what most people miss. I'm going to help you. If you're buying all CDs, you're in trouble. And if you're buying all Bitcoin, you're probably in trouble. If you don't have good balance, you're probably in trouble. We want to have a plan that makes sense. Kevin Warsh is an interesting pick, and I wish I had 15, 20 minutes that we wasted in the first segment would be great right here, right now, because it's a bizarre choice for Trump. And I can talk about it till I'm blue in the face. This is not a guy who is just going to willy-nilly raise or lower interest rates. Mm-hmm. It's a weird pick. But there is some validity to him as well. He's not a bad pick. It's just a weird pick for Trump. I've never been, nor will I ever be, the guy that sends out messages screaming about the sky is falling. Right. We know that story. We know what it looks like. There's plenty of finance guys that love to tell you how horrible a massive correction is coming. Well, if you say that for 10 years, sooner or later, you're going to get it right? Mm-hmm. Plans make sense. Based on your risk, based on your need, figuring out what works for you and your family is what matters. There's no need to hide in CDs. There's no need to overexpose yourself into equities. There's no need to only buy annuities, and there's no need to hide your money in a mason jar in your backyard. Ladies and gentlemen, having a plan is simple. It's just difficult when you're not sure what questions to ask. It's something we do each and every day. Something where we sit down and we ask you these questions and we walk you through it and we design this idea of what retirement looks like. And once we understand what your definition of retirement is and what it looks like, we help you craft your assets to make those things a reality. Do we do it 100% perfect every time? Absolutely not. Not possible. But you know what? We'll identify if there's areas where maybe you're missing a little bit. We'll also identify opportunities that you may be missing. So many pieces of retirement matter, but if you don't put in the work, you're never going to get to where you want to be because it requires understanding the nuances of retirement. Listen, I hate being the finance weenie. I put on this whole redneck facade for you guys to laugh at and joke about, but the reality is I'm not an idiot. I still am a redneck, but I'm just not an idiot redneck, okay? My job is to make sense of retirement, is to do it in a way that each and every person understands it. Listen, if my lowbrow humor is too much for you and you would never talk to anyone, then take your bougie butt on to somebody else and get some help. I don't care if you call me. I want you to make better decisions. But a lot of you guys need to hear it plain. You need to hear it straight, and that's the reason why we came up with Financial Straight Talk. I don't care if you like me. I don't care if you call me. The only thing I care about is that you get the right information so you can make the right decisions. As usual, we end our show with the same thing. It's every week the same story. Kevin's going to say, I'm going to give you the last word. I'm going to give you all my stuff. And then Kevin's going to remind you one more time what the number is. Here's the reality. Let's do something different this time. We're still going to do all the other nonsense I just said. But more importantly, why don't you do this? Make a decision today that this is the day you're going to call. Give my team a shout. Let them know you want to come in. And we'll do what we can to help you. Worst case scenario, you're going to walk out the door learning more about what you have than you knew coming through the door, or we're going to validate that what you have is the best thing for you. Regardless, you have nothing to lose. Pick up the phone. Give my team a call.
Again, folks, that number is 321-414-7526. 321-414-PLAN. You can always visit Jim and his team online at getfst.com. And of course, we covered a lot on the program today, including controlling what you can when it comes to your retirement planning. Of course, also, we spent a lot of time filling out those March Madness brackets. Shouldn't you be devoting that much time to your retirement planning? Plus, what that first conversation looks like with Jim. And if you'd like to learn more, maybe it's been a while since you had someone sit down and review your plan. Again, folks, that number is 321-414-7526. There's no cost. There's no obligation. Get on Jim's calendar now. Again, 321-414-PLAN or online at getfst.com. So, Jim, it's been yet another enjoyable show here this weekend, my man. And before we run out of time, sir, the floor is once again all yours for the final word.
Kevin, thanks so much. Well, guys, every week, Kevin and I say the same thing. We know that you have tons of options when it comes to getting financial information. We're just honored to be one of those resources. So like he said, if there's anything we can do, reach out, let us know. We're here to help. But with all that being said, on behalf of myself and Mr. Kevin Mack, I want to thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time on Financial Straight Talk.
Thanks for listening to Financial Straight Talk with Jim Fox. To learn more, visit getfst.com.
Insurance products are offered through the insurance business Wadadley Financial Group. Wadadley Financial Group is also an investment advisory practice that offers products and services through Impact Partnership Wealth LLC IPW, a registered investment advisor. IPW does not offer insurance products. The insurance products offered by Wadadley Financial Group are not subject to investment advisor requirements. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This show is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual's situation. Wadadley Financial Group is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during this show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any government agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by Wadadley Financial Group.